Hello, today we are going to discuss the module 4 in Principles of Information Security, the first part of it, that is virus. Actually, we are discussing in this module about various types of malwares. What is a malware? A malware is a set of instructions that run on your computer and make your system do something that an attacker wants it to do. That is, actually, malware is a malicious program. It will cause undesirable effects. It can do anything a normal program can do, and it can damage your system. The program will be the malware malicious program will be installed in your system without the consent of the computer, without the consent of the user. That's what is called malware. There are different types of malwares, like can be a virus, can be a worm, a Trojan horse, bot, bombs, etc. These malwares can originate from various sources, like it can be through email, it can be through website or physical media, etc. There are two different classification of malicious programs or malware. One is it needs a host program, and the second one is independent. The one that requires a host program is trapdoor, logic bomb, Trojan horse, virus, etc. And that can run independently are worm and zombie. And in this you can see the two classification means one is the one that needs host program to run it, and another one is can run independently. And in this, the three types, that is virus, worm and zombie, are the things that can replicate. Now, there are different types of malwares like virus, worm, logic bomb, Trojan horse, etc. We have seen it. Now, what is a virus? It is the one that attaches itself to the program. Actually, we'll discuss it in this video. And the second one is worm. Worm is the one that propagates or copies of itself to other computers. And logic bomb, it explodes when a condition, it checks for a condition or event to occur, then it explodes. And then Trojan horse. Trojan horse is one program, a software malicious program that acts like an original software program, but it will be a malicious one. But the thing is, it cannot replicate. Other one is backdoor or trapdoor. It is a doorway for the unauthorized access. It makes the unauthorized access possible. And the last one is zombie. It is a software. It can launch attack on others. And there are also various other malwares. Now the next one is virus. So we will be discussing the features of virus, types of virus, the phases of virus, etc. in this slide. First one, what is a virus? A virus is a piece of code that inserts itself into a host, including operating system, and then it starts to propagate. That means it is a malicious program. It needs a host that is inserted itself into the host, cannot run independently. That is, it requires a host program to run. When the host program runs, the virus will be activated. That is, a virus is a malware or a malicious program. It gets attached to a host, and when the host runs, it will be activated. And then another adverse part of the virus is it can replicate, or it can spread from one computer to another computer, or it can spread into programs of other computers. That is the most adverse part of a virus, and can also modify already existing programs. Now, what are the adverse effects of virus? What it can do in your system? It can infect other programs, it can erase files, it can gain admin control, and can steal information. So these are the adverse effects of a virus. Now, parts of a virus. There are three parts for a virus. That is infection method, triggering and payload. Infection methods means it's a method of replication, method of spreading. And triggering means when the virus gets activated. It is the event or the condition that determines when to activate the payload. Payload is the third part. Payload indicates the actual program or actual data of virus. Or simply you can say it is the one what the virus does. What is the functionality of the virus? So these are the three parts of a virus. The first part is infection methods. It means the method by which the virus is spread. It enables it to replicate. The method enables it to replicate. And the second one is triggering. It is the event or condition for activating the payload. Payload means the original data of the virus or the what the virus does. Then next one is virus. Different infection methods of virus. Direct infection. Direct infection means the virus can infect files every time user opens the program. And the one is a fast infection method, that it infects the files and it replicates. Then slow infection. Slow infection means it infects certain new programs or files, etc. And the one is sparse infection. Sparse infection infects the random files. Then RAM resident infection is the one that infects the RAM itself. Then next is phases of a virus. This is very important. Phases of a virus, there are 4 phases for a virus: a dormant phase, a propagation phase, triggering phase, and execution phase. So what is a dormant phase? A dormant phase means in this phase the virus is idle. Sorry, the idle spelling is wrong. The virus won't do anything. The virus is idle because a virus gets activated when an event occurs or when a condition occurs, when it waits for a date or it waits for a file to be opened, etc. So up to that time the virus sits idle. That is what is dormant phase. And the second phase is propagation phase. Propagation phase means it is the phase of replication. It is the phase in which it starts to spread. In this phase, it generates its copies and places its copies. So this is the replication or propagation phase. It's the phase of spreading. And third phase is triggering phase. This is the actual phase when the virus gets activated. That is when the event is occurred or when the condition is occurred, the virus get activated in this phase. And the last final phase is execution phase. As you can see, it will start to execute. The virus starts to execute. So these are the 4 phases of a virus. A dormant phase where the virus is idle, propagation phase where it replicates itself, triggering phase where the virus gets activated, and execution phase where the virus gets executed. Now, types of virus. There are various types of viruses. One is a file virus. A file virus is the virus that append to a file. That is, you can call it as a parasitic virus because a parasite is the one depends on another. Here also the virus depends on a file. Virus needs to append to a file, which is called a file virus. And second one is a boot sector virus. A boot sector virus means it affects the boot sector. That is, it gets executed every time when the system is booted. Another one is a macro virus. A macro virus is the one that is executed when the macro is run. That is executed when the macro is run. And another dangerous virus is a polymorphic virus. This is the virus that changes its signature every time in order to escape from antivirus. So what do you mean by a signature? A signature is the identity of the virus, the pattern by which the virus is identified. So whenever it changes its identity, it becomes difficult for the antivirus to detect it. So that is the adverse part of a polymorphic virus. From the name itself you can see polymorphic means it has different phases. And the other one is a source code virus. As you can see, it will modify the source code. Then web scripting virus. Web scripting virus is it infects the web scripting. That is, when you click a link on a malicious site, it will get activated. And the one is a memory resident virus. As you can see, it will affect the memory. Now, various features of virus. When a virus infected program is run, the virus code is executed. And then what happens? It will search for other programs to be infected. Then it gets started to spread. So when we execute a virus infected program, it can lie in various spaces. Like its location will be either at the start of infected file, or its location can be either at the beginning or end of the host file, or it can split across the file through gem. That is, either it can be at the beginning of a infected file, or it can be at the beginning or end of a host file, or it can